This is a film about speech, about making your first speech. And these students will soon be giving their first speeches. They're just like any other group of students, lively, interesting, and talkative most of the time. But like almost everybody else, get them before an audience and they don't know what to say or how to say it. Carl is like that. He thinks that making a speech is a complicated and difficult job. Actually, a good speech is a simple thing, composed of only 3 parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes, Ed?
what do we do when we're giving a speech?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, what do we do with our hands?
The best thing is just to leave them right at your sides. While we're on the subject of the speaker, what's the right thing to do with your eyes?
Well, I'd say look at the audience.
Yes, look right at them all the time. What about posture?
You mean the way you stand?
Yes,
Be relaxed?
that's right. But don't what?
Don't lean or slouch around. Just stand up straight.
Yes, most of the things we've said add up to one good rule. Be yourself when you're in front of an audience. Be your best self. Now, before you go, your assignment for tomorrow will be to deliver your first speech.
What do we talk about?
Pick a hobby, or a trip, or something interesting to you. But above all, remember, something you enjoy and will like telling the class about.
Mr. Wallace, how long do we have to speak?
Make this a 3-minute talk. All set? Then class is dismissed until tomorrow.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes, Carl?
about my speech for tomorrow. How do I get started?
Well, do you have a minute, Carl? Sit down. Now, what's this about getting started?
Well, I think I have an idea to talk about. You know, like you said, something I'm interested in.
Okay. What's your topic?
Well, deep sea fishing.
Good. First, your introduction. Something brief and simple and to the point. Why don't you try it?
Well, like this. To me, the greatest fun in the world is deep sea fishing.
Fine. Do you see what you've done? You've opened with a good, clear statement of what you're going to talk about. But, Carl,
Yes, Mr. Wallace?
don't begin with,
All right, I won't tomorrow.
Carl and Mr. Wallace discussed how Carl could develop the body of his talk by telling about deep-sea fishing, telling 2 or 3 important things about it, and an interesting story about his experience as a deep-sea fisherman. For his conclusion, Carl could sum it all up in a single statement. Carl has a lot of things to remember besides what he wants to say. Stand up straight, but be relaxed. Keep the eyes on the audience. Voice strong and loud enough to be heard by everyone. And don't forget, leave out the ahs. Quite an order for a beginner, but Carl knows the more he practices, the better he'll become.
your speech ready? Yeah. So do I. I'm nervous. Me too. So's everybody else. Hi, Ed. Hiya. Hey, sit down. How you doing? Pretty good.
Jim Fuller?
Here.
Ed Hensley?
Here.
Linda Hoffman?
Here.
All right, we're ready to begin with your first speech. Remember the things we discussed. I put them on the blackboard so that you can keep them in mind. Your introduction, your body, and your conclusion, and when you're delivering your talk, have relaxed but easy posture, good eye contact with your audience, voice strong enough so that everyone can hear you, and please don't have any uhs in your speech.
To me, the greatest fun in the world is deep sea fishing. One trip I will always remember is a trip down to Baja, California. We left Saturday night to go fishing Sunday morning. We arrived at San Felipe, which is in the Gulf of California, Saturday night, and went to the hotel to go up the next morning. Sunday morning we went out and caught the boat that we were going to go fishing on. We left out there and it was a beautiful sunny day and prospects looked very good. The first fish was spotted and the shipmate hooked it and handed the pole to my father. He played it for about an hour and finally brought it aboard. After my father caught his fish, then it was my turn. I'd been waiting for this moment for a long time, and I sat in the chair where you catch the fish and waited for the shipmate to hand me the pole if we ever spotted one. We drove around looking for a marlin for quite a while, and after a while we spotted one. They started throwing bait overboard to draw the fish's attention, and then he hooked one of the hooks with the bait and tried to lure it. Before long the marlin grabbed this bait and the shipmate handed me the pole. I was very excited and I never ever had a fish this big on my line before. I knew what to do because I had instructions beforehand, and after a while the fish started taking off real fast, and I didn't know quite what to do, so I just let him go. I found out after a while that you had to just keep playing the fish for a while because you can't really tell what they're going to do. They're a real fighter. And I kept fighting the fish for half an hour. He'd just make runs and runs and runs, and I was very tired. My back was hurting from the strain of the line, but I still wanted to catch this fish worse than anything. So I kept fighting it, and he was tiring slowly, but it was going to take a long time, and I knew that I had to just outfight him. The fish was slowly starting to lose some of his strength, as I knew his runs weren't as powerful and as fast as they had been. And sure enough, after a while, you could tell that he was just about ready to bring in. He wasn't jumping or anything like that anymore. And I kept fighting him, and I was almost dead tired. I was sweating, and I was real tired. And they brought the fish in, and the shipmate gaffed it and brought it aboard, and it was a pretty good-sized fish, and I was sure excited over it. I had a lot of fun on that trip, and I'll always remember it. Therefore, of all the interesting things I could think of to talk about, deep sea fishing would be the first. You should all try it sometime.
Now Carl knows he can do it. His first speech is over, and he's more confident now. He'll be looking forward to his next speech